Coming up on this episode of Good Teams Win, Great Teams Cover.
Do I go for the honest answer or the biased answer? What's good for this one? Honest answer, they are against, essentially they are against the teams who are the better teams in the NFL. Yep. For some reason, we just don't really seem to show up exceptionally well.
Welcome back to Good Teams Win, Great Teams Cover. We're here with our NFL Week 11 preview. It's a big week with some monster matchups, and we've got the first ever NFL game in Spain. Viva España, as Madrid hosts its first game, the Bernabeu. We'll get into that in a bit more detail soon enough. But Byron and Joe with me as always. Gentlemen, welcome to Week 11. How are you both?
Hola, amigo. Sí, cabal. Yes.
Very good.
Good. Gracias.
Well done, Joe.
Yeah, I'm not going to even attempt to do Spanish like Byron, which hopefully does this throughout the whole preview of the Madrid game for Spanish fans. But no, it's a really fun week. There's a lot of division games, which I think are highly important, which could set the remaining season going. It's getting to that point where it's like, oh, if that team beats that team, double up on wins, or even just like sneak ahead, you're like, that team might be. It's a long way back. So it's some really fun games, and other than there's some really good ones, and there's obviously our power rankings 1 versus 2 as well, which is not even on TV. We're not even going to be chatting about it until later on, which is fun.
Yeah, that's weird. It's just the time of that one we'll get into. We should probably spotlight that one a little bit. It's possibly a Game of the Year contender, hidden away in the late slate. But we've got loads coming up, so we're going to preview the Madrid game, as we've mentioned, the Sky Sports main games, plus the 2 primetime games. And we've got cracking guests. We've got 2 guys, Alex and Jamie, from the Bucs UK, Tampa Bay Buccaneers UK fan group. They're going to help us preview Buccaneers Bills and talk about a special event that they've got coming up this week. But let's head to Madrid. Should we head to sunny Spain? Let's head to sunny Spain. See. Sunny Spain, not Benidorm or, Magaluf or anywhere else. We're going to Madrid.
Mallorca.
Yeah, Mallorca. There you go. We head to the main spot. It's the first game in Madrid, the Santiago Bernabeu. Commanders 2.5-point underdogs take on the Miami Dolphins. Over under is 47.5. A Bernabeu blitz hopes for a fiesta of touchdowns. Commanders take on the Dolphins in the first NFL game in Spain as the home of the 15-time European champions host more potential Galacticos. Feels more a story of the Galacticos that are missing here in terms of Jaden Daniels and maybe Tyreek Hill. A lot of the big stars aren't making this one from Commanders Dolphins. How do you think this one is going to go? And Joe, I have no idea if it's a fast track or not, by the way.
Yeah, well, the Madrid players have got a few fast plays, so I'm sure that'll help out. It's a good thing that the Dolphins won against the Bills last week, I think, for the Madrid fans, to make it at least interesting. If they got absolutely pummeled by the Bills, just like the Commanders did against the Lions, you'd be like, oof, I do apologize, because this would have been like an exciting one at the start of the year, like you mentioned, Jaden Daniels and the Dolphins with their fast track players. I'm leaning the Dolphins here. I'm really what they did against the Bills was surprising. And when you look at sneakily, when you look at their schedule, you're like, oh, could the Dolphins sneak back into contention? It's I think it's a long way off because they played putrid quite a lot of the season. But when you look at the Commanders, then they got the bye, then the Saints, Jets, Steelers, Bengals, they could win 5 of them games, and that'll make them so interesting. So who knows, maybe sacking the GM is the right way to go in terms of a bounce back. But I was impressed last week. Obviously, Tua had the 2 interceptions, which you never want to see. But this Commanders defense, and you mentioned it, Paul, just their overall, what's happening there with the players punching opponents and pushing referees, officials. I'm not quite sure how they're going to fix that. Obviously, I know Dan Quinn's going back to being more the coordinator on defense, but they just look shot and just a team who know this season's a waste, especially what happened last year. And I think this Dolphins team can pick them apart early on like teams have done against them. It feels like they've been down very heavily straight away, and they just can't make it back. And you've got Marcus Mariota, two Hawaiian QBs, another Hawaiian QB matchup this year. And I just see the Dolphins winning this one, and I think it could be a dangerous stomping. And is Dan Quinn's job, is that going to be up in the air versus what McDaniels was a few weeks ago?
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I think the Commanders are in big trouble, just in general. I've taken them ATS, but I didn't like it. I took them ATS just on the basis that I think this might just be a stinky game, might end up being quite low scoring. So I just took the points. No real reason than that, but I've not bet that element of it in terms of the ATS. The Commanders can do something this week that has been done since the 60s. No club has lost 5 in a row by 21 or more points since the 1965 Steelers. That's what the Commanders could potentially do this week. Nobody had lost 4 in a row since the 2002 Cardinals by that volume, by 21 or more points, until the Commanders had done it last week. So, yeah, I'm real worried for him. I think they might get a bit of a reaction this week. Obviously, Payne, after trying to knock out Amon-Ra St. Brown, is suspended for a game. Maybe he just didn't want to get on the plane and fly to Madrid. Maybe that was the whole thing. Yeah, I think there'll be a bit of a reaction this week from the Commanders, and they will firm up a little bit. But yeah, that point on the Dolphins, could they make a case for the playoffs, was what I was going to ask you guys, because they could end up winning 4 in a row here.
I'm not considering them in the playoff race. I'll believe it when I see it ultimately. And I am picking them to win this game, and I'm picking them to cover ATS. They have a great record, ATS, against the Commanders or Washington. In fact, the last time Washington covered ATS was 6 games ago against Dolphins. That was November 23, 2003. And I don't have a pop song to ask about. I want to know what was the number 1 movie in the UK. Movie, not pop song. November 23, 2003.
November 2003. I have the number 1. I was going to ask this.
All right. I don't have the number 1. I will have looked it up, but I didn't think it was very good, I guess, because I went with the movie instead.
So you said November 23rd?
Yep, 2003.
So my birthday when I was 12 years old.
That's your birthday?
It is my birthday, the 23rd.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. Maybe you went to see it.
Yeah.
I feel like when I was 11, it was Triple X, or maybe it was Lilo and Stitch when I was 11. I think 10.
I'm going to go November 2003. I'm going to go, give me Lord of the Rings 2 or 3. I can't remember which one it is.
I don't know which one's which, but December 21, 2003, the Lord of the Rings Return of the King went to number 1 a month later. So good guess. Joe, 4 weeks prior, Finding Nemo was number 1, which might be what you're thinking of with Lilo and Stitch. I don't know what the timelines of those films. But I'll give you a clue. This on our Christmas draft was called the worst film ever made. By me.
Are you?
Oh, Love Actually.
Love Actually, yes, indeed. November 23rd.
I might agree with you there, actually. No, I agree.
Horrendous film. Yeah, that was the UK number 1 movie. Last time the Commanders covered the spread against the Dolphins, never mind won. So, work to do for Washington. Paul, apparently you had a number 1 movie song though, so I'm interested to hear it.
What was the one? Yeah, that's what I picked. The last time Commanders covered against the Dolphins.
Number 1.
23rd of November 2003. Do you want a clue?
I feel like I must have seen it. When I was researching.
Which country?
In the UK.
Can I have a different clue?
A
better clue.
They are not from the UK. They are from Ireland.
I did see it. Yeah, I don't know what song it is, but I know.
Is it Westlife?
It is.
Unforgettable. Unforgivable. No.
Apparently, it is forgettable.
I mean, the song might be unforgivable. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
Uptown Girl cover.
It's a cover. It's a cover. Yeah.
It's not Uptown Girl.
Uptown Girl.
No,
because that was unforgivable.
Is it Mandy?
It is Mandy.
Oh my goodness!
Mandy, yeah.
Forgot that existed.
Mandy. Yeah, that's like all you're getting from me.
Clip that.
Yeah. Numbers have just dropped off.
It's so good. The YouTube will do is for thinking we played it. music in the video. Yeah,
I'm not sure if that was worse than Love Actually.
Nothing's worse than Love Actually. Let's have a look at the bets, Joe. I'm following the money and the public, and which I'm not necessarily a great place to be. 90%, 94% of the money and 90% on the bets under 47.5. It's the great unknown. We've not had a game in Spain, not had a game in Madrid. Give me under 47.5. I'm expecting a response from the Commanders. Defense, Dan Quinn taking over. Surely they can't carry on being this bad. What's the Mick McCarthy meme? Can't get any worse. It can. But I think Dan Quinn's going to put a stop to it. And the Dolphins, I don't think, are going to have it quite their own way like they did against the Bills last week. I think this one's just going to be really, really low scoring. I think maybe under 40. I think it's going to be a bit of a stinky game. So I like under 47.5.
Yeah, I've gone both quarterbacks in the game, Tua and Marcus Mariota, to have at least one interception. He's at 2-1. Tua leads the league in interceptions this year. He has 13 through 10 games. Marcus Mariota has 1 per start, 4-4. So seems like a reasonable bet. Keep that number low for the under as well. 2-1, both quarterbacks for an interception.
Hello, nah. I'm going to go Devon Achane, 150 plus rush and receive at 11-5. I think I'm the opposite to you, Paul. I think it's going to be points, especially for the Dolphins. I'm looking at the points score, maybe over 35 for them, just because how bad this Washington team has been. And Achane he looked great against the Bills, and I don't think this Commanders defense is much better, probably a lot worse. So I think this could be a big Achane game where a lot of dump offs, and he's just going to, get to the end zone in Madrid, and we'll see what kind of celebrations. I wonder if they'll do the Jude Bellingham one. That's definitely one. It feels like someone's gonna put the arms out wide to celebrate a TD.
Maybe like bullfighting one, maybe Matador. No,
Could be insensitive.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, that's fair.
And not that they'd want to do that on porpoise, but there might be. Commanders have given up the 4th most rushing yards in the league this year, so great chance Devon Achane takes advantage of that.
Excellent, yeah. A huge game last week against the Bills. Cool, right, guest time. So we've Buccaneers Bills is the Sky Sports early game, but we're not going to preview that. We're going to let our guests do that. So we've got Alex and we've got Jamie from the Bucs UK fan group joining us. We're going to talk Bucs Bills. We're going to talk all about Bucs UK fan group and all the great work they do, plus their fantastic event they've got coming up this weekend. So, yeah, we'll be back to share our best bets. But for now, here's Alex, Jamie, previewing Bucs Bills and having a crack at our 4-fold challenge. We're on to our guest segment for our Week 11 preview here at Good Teams Win, Great Teams Cover, and I am flanked by 2 fantastic guests. We've got 2 of the guys from Bucs UK, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers UK fan club, joining us. We've got returning guest Alex, who joined us last year, and we've got a new face from Bucs UK joining us, Jamie. Gentlemen, thank you ever so much for joining us. First up, Alex, you're back on the show for a second time. How have you been? How's it going?
Yeah, it's been pretty good. It's still good down in Tampa as well, which is nice. So things have been going well. As I say, it was a pleasure to join you last year, and thank you for asking us back again.
Excellent. Well, we've got a very special reason why you're back, which we'll get into that in a bit more detail shortly. Jamie, new to the show. First of all, again, thanks for coming on. How's it going, buddy?
No, I feel like I'm the Emeka Buka. I'm the rookie in this situation with the veteran of Mike Evans over there. So this is your wide receiver core. So let's go for it. I'm doing good. It's been a long day at work, but we're here and I'm excited. It's going to be a good weekend, hopefully.
Excellent. Yes. Well, fingers crossed. It will be, no doubt. And I suppose before, obviously, we'll get into, you guys have got a great event coming up at the weekend, which we'll talk about in a bit of detail. But before we do, give us a shout out for where we can follow the Bucs UK. Where can Tampa Bay Buccaneers UK fans join? And what is the flavour of kind of the Bucs UK fan club about?
Absolutely. So we're on all the social media platforms at Bucs UK, Twitter. Oh, sorry, X. Sorry, not Twitter anymore. X, Instagram, TikTok. We've got our YouTube channel, Bucs UK TV, which I can't say much at the minute, but we do have some. We were doing some podcasts for a while. We haven't recorded any recently. However, we are working, myself, Jamie, and a couple of other people. We are working on some a new format for our podcast. So we've got some old videos in there. People can go and check them out and keep an eye on our social media because we're going to be back next season with our brand new podcast, new format, new everything. So something to keep an eye out on there. We've got our website, www.bucksuk.org. If there are any Bucks fans out there living in the UK who have not joined us, please head over to our website. All the information to come and join us is on there. We have many exciting events that we run throughout the year. We have our watch parties. We generally do 2 to 3 a year at the moment. We have many competitions for all our members as well, where they can win some really cool Buccaneer prizes. They can be modern day prizes as well as prizes from the sort of older times of the Buccaneers, shall we say. And we also hold stuff, competitions such as we have NFL fantasy leagues that we run every year. They're always good fun, good laugh. And we've also recently launched, this is a new thing for Bucs UK this year, but we've actually launched our members WhatsApp community, which we have members calling for a long time. And we finally started that this year. So for anyone who wants to join, that's another way where you can meet new members. It's a good way to get involved with the club. And then, as I say, we've got all our events that we like to invite people over to. Whenever we do, we have members who go to games over in Tampa. We have a lot of members who go each year, and we pride ourselves on arranging events for not all of those games, but a majority of them. Whether that's some meetup before the games, it could be a meal afterwards at a restaurant near Raymond James Stadium. So plenty of opportunity for people to get involved in. And something that we do pride ourselves on is we started as a club in 1984. We are not a lot younger than the Buccaneers. We celebrated our 40th anniversary as a club last year, and we've got the Buccaneers this year celebrating their 50th season. So we've got a great relationship with the Buccaneers. They've been good to us ever since we started, and we consider ourselves being a very privileged position, and we're very lucky and honoured for that.
Yeah, it's great. Again, just thinking that the UK fan club's been running for 40 years is crazy. Like, it's again just kind of the dedication, and certainly one of the we get to speak to a lot of the guys, and all the guys that run the fan groups across all different teams do great work to build this NFL community that we have in the UK. But to kind of have had that in place for 40 years and running it is pretty special. So yeah, you guys definitely deserve a pat on the back for sure. Let's get to the special event we've kind of alluded to a little bit. Watch parties, you mentioned there, Alex. Jamie, do you want to tell us a little bit about the event that we've got coming up for this week's game?
Yeah, I mean, of course. So as Alex alluded to before, we have 2 or 3 watch parties throughout the year. We had our London one earlier in the year, and we have a lot of fans up north. Everyone seems to forget about the up north. I think you're up north, I'm up north. So, we do have our up north watch party in Leeds this weekend for the Buccaneers and the Bills. So we're looking forward to it. It is in Leeds. So it's going to be a good one.
Excellent. Yeah, it should be a cracker. We're going to be joining the fun, the Library Pub. Great choice. I was also a student in Leeds, so I spent plenty of time in that pub many moons ago now. It's no longer a pound a pint anymore, I don't think. But it should be great fun. It's a great boozer. And yeah, and like I say, I think from what you say, you've got quite a lot of people attending, possibly one of the largest ones you guys have run.
That's right. Yes, this is. We're going to have over 50 members attending on Sunday, which, other than our 40th sort of birthday celebrations, which we had in London last year, this will be our largest ever attended watch party for the club. And there's going to be a lot of new members joining as well. We've had a lot of messages through email and through our club forum, where members who have said this is going to be my first event. Looking forward to meeting people. We can't wait to meet those new members. I know we're only a couple of days away before the event, but if there is anyone who does watch the show, you are a Bucks fan, there's still time to get a ticket. Still time to join, get a ticket, come and join us at the library in Leeds. It's going to be an incredible night. I'd say over 50 members. It's going to be such great atmosphere. Whether obviously as Bucks fans we want that win for the Bucks, but whether we win or lose, it's just going to be a great chance for us Bucks fans to come together and have a great evening, enjoying some drinks, plenty of food, and enjoying that company. That is something which these watch parties are so valuable for, particularly because we are up all over the UK. It is very hard to get people together. We've got a lot of diaries that have to sync for this to work. So, Jamie and I, we speak over WhatsApp. We haven't had the opportunity to meet in person yet. I hope that is coming soon. So it'd be good to finally meet Jamie in person. That's just a classic example as how these watch parties can bring people together who wouldn't necessarily meet. So really exciting.
I think it's
Excellent,
as well with the community. Everyone just has these. We call it heart palpitation Sundays because the way the Bucs have been playing with these fourth quarter drives at the moment, I think we can all get together and have heart palpitations together in person. So it's going to be a beautiful thing.
Yeah, excellent. It should be a great game as well. You picked a particularly great week in terms of the level of game we're expecting. The Bucs and Bills, two of the top teams in the NFL. So really, really looking forward to seeing Baker and Josh Allen do battle and just two great teams all around. So yeah, you've picked a good one. Yeah, we'll be joining. So we'll be, if you see an idiot wandering around with a microphone, that'll be me. So please don't get scared. Come talk to us. Want to talk to you about the game. Want to find out how you guys have been Bucs fans, how you joined the community. We're just going to be recording loads of stuff there just to capture the vibe of the day, which should be a good one. So we're really looking forward to coming along, and you guys have been really welcoming in allowing us to do so. Let's talk a little bit about season so far, if that's okay. Jamie, we'll start with you. Kind of what you mentioned, kind of heart palpitation Sunday as it's been for the Bucs a lot of the way so far. A lot of fourth quarter comebacks and late drive to win games. What's your feeling on how it's been so far this year for the Bucs?
I mean, it's always interesting because, like you said, you've got so many close games that are going down to the fourth quarter, and you think, oh my God, I don't want to go to work in Monday morning. I work with a lot of NFL fans, and I'm just I don't want to be around when you lose. And then you get that moment, Chase McLaughlin locking up, getting those final fourth quarter drives, Baker Mayfield being the MVP. Like, that's what we want. He's just been unreal. It's not been boring. That's what I will say. It's been entertaining. It was unfortunate at the weekend, and it's quite interesting going into this weekend as well because both of them are coming off losses as well, which you wouldn't have thought possibly coming into this game. So I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully we go 7-3, keep on going. Baker Mayfield MVP so far.
Excellent. Yeah, I mean, he's been playing at such a high level. It's been a struggle the last couple of weeks. And Alex, we talked a little bit before we started recording around, seeing the length of the Buccaneers injury list, and that's been a story. It was a story coming into the season in terms of players injured and hurt. And it sort of continued through, as it almost feels like every week or so, somebody big goes down for the Bucs. Is it getting to a point where it's starting to take a toll a little bit now in terms of so many big players missing kind of at the same time as well?
I think given the run we've got, this is I think a lot of Bucs fans sort of looked at this part of the schedule and went, this is going to be the toughest time. We had Detroit 2 weeks before the bye. We then had New Orleans. Didn't need to worry about them at all. But then obviously we faced the Patriots, who hired Mike Vrabel in the offseason. And even before the season started, I thought the Patriots had done, I hate to admit it, I thought that they played a blinder bringing Mike Vrabel in. He is a coach that I am personally a big fan of. I thought he did a great job at Tennessee. And then now going to New England, he's turned it around already this season. So fair play to New England for that. And then obviously we've got Buffalo coming up, and then we've got LA as well, the Rams as well. So in the last, if I'm talking about those 5 games, 4 of those 5 games are exceptionally tough opponents within the NFL. And it's when you're coming to that sort of period of the season where the injuries that's where you want the team as fit as possible. We have lost big players over this season. One guy I've got to mention, my favourite Bucs player has been since we drafted him, Mike Evans. We lost to a shot. I think was it a shoulder concussion? I think it was a shoulder injury. I think it was, if I remember correctly, something like that. He is a huge loss for us. And Chris Godwin is still coming back from that horrific injury he picked up last season. Played a couple of times this season, but you can just tell he's still not quite 100% on that one. But what I will say, even though we've lost those 2 weapons on offense at the moment, the depth we've got on offense particularly at the receiver position, I think he's the best in the league. Emeka Ibuka has had a incredible start to this season. I was excited when we drafted him, but I don't think any of us thought he would come in and essentially take over that number one position, whilst the likes of Mike and Chris are out. And then if you look at the like of Tez Johnson as well, and you've got Sterling Shepard in there. These guys are stepping up and doing that job. But then we have to look at the defensive side as well. Touch wood, injury-wise, it's not been too bad on that side of the ball. We have lost a couple of players there, but generally we've managed to keep fit. I do look at the games we've lost this season, particularly the Eagles game and the Patriots game, which we lost by 1 score. So exceptionally close. I think if we had our offense at 100% full strength, we could be sitting here right now talking about being 8-1 rather than 6-3. Now, that's not me being biased because I'm a Bucs fan, well, maybe a little bit, but it is because I think our offense is that good. And Jamie alluded to it earlier about Baker Mayfield playing at an MVP level. He really is this season. I think he's been incredible this season. So while the team are doing well, they're clearly playing for top bowls, and that's important as well. We've got a head coach who maybe some of the Bucs fans, they're not a big fan of bowls. They would rather someone else was in. What no Bucs fan can argue with is that this team is playing for him, and we've definitely seen that over some of the games where we've had those incredible comebacks where we needed to put it out the bag. Especially when we look back at the first 3 games of the season where we won those games with the last drive of the game. That is a team who is playing for their head coach. And while you're asking me more about those injuries, as I say, if we'd had that fully fit team, I think we could be looking at an even better record than we are now. 6-3 is nothing to be ashamed of. If you'd offered me 6-3 at this point before the season started, I'd have ripped your hand off. So I'm really happy we are. But those injuries have really been a bit of a kick in the teeth for us, I think.
Yeah, I feel like it was really important to kind of stack the wins early, just given kind of this middle portion of the schedule that just is a lot tougher, as you mentioned. And then it does ease off a little bit. There are a lot more of those divisional games that might be perceived to be a bit softer. Always tough, right, divisional games, but certainly with the way the NFC South is, a little bit of a softer run. And then they got the Dolphins and the Cardinals as well, which nothing to necessarily be too scared about given the run. I guess the Dolphins did beat the Bills last week. So, Jamie, just a quick from kind of where they are now, we kind of say just around or just past the halfway point of the season. How far do you think the Bucs can go? Sort of just taking everything into consideration, and how far do you think they can go this NFL season?
Honest or biased answer? I mean, which one do you want here?
Let's start with honest, and then we'll do biased.
I mean, like you did mention, like the NFC South being kind of more of it's always seen as a weaker kind of division in the NFC, in the NFL possibly as well. 5 in a row sounds really good, doesn't it? 5 NFC South titles in a row. I think we're going. I don't want to. You see, the thing when you're a Bucs fan, arguably one of the worst organizations in the history of NFL at a time. Remember, like. This is all new to fans of the Buccaneers, being this winning organization. Like I said, we won it for the first time, 4th in a row. Going 5 in a row is absolutely unheard of. Like I said, if you told me 10 years ago we're going to win 5 in a row, I'd be like, what? Okay, I'd happily take that. Especially with Jameis Winston at quarterback. But hey, he's starting at the Giants this weekend as well.
Hey.
So there you go. Playoffs is obviously where we want to be. That's where we're gonna go. I've seen a lot of stuff on Facebook and social media saying we'll possibly go deeper into the NFC Championship game. I said to somebody who's a Lions fan, I think Bucs Lions seems to be that conference championship game. That's where I'm going. So I'm thinking conference championship. The hopeful answer, we're going all the way, and I think this game could be a preview of what the Super Bowl could be.
Hey, I'd sign up for that right now. If we got Bucs Bills in February, I would sign up for that as a Super Bowl to watch for sure. That would be a cracker of a game, I think, if we got that on the second week of February. Excellent. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of with you, James. I think, again, I mean, it's crazy when the Panthers are only kind of a game and a half back or what they are at the minute, but I think the Bucs are just too strong. Even if they lost a couple in this tough run, I think they're just too strong against those weaker teams. They're just too good, too professional, find ways to win. So, yeah, I can see them kind of 11, 12 wins, win the NFC South, and then, yeah, you just hoping you get a couple more home games in the playoffs, I guess, of people coming to Tampa rather than going on the road. So, yeah, the NFC's tough, isn't it? At the top, isn't it? The Lions, the Eagles, the Rams, the Seahawks. Like, it's a lot of very good
Seahawks
teams.
defense at the moment is absolutely crazy, isn't it? Especially when you face it in fantasy at the weekend. That was not fun.
Yeah, tough one, that. Tough one to tell you, that one, yeah. Tank Lawrence scoring 2 touchdowns. Yeah, that's a rough one. Cool. Well, let's get into this week's game in a bit more detail. So we've got a bit of as we do for our main games that we preview, a bit of a pun-based headline to share. So, high mark hijack, Buccaneers plot raid in Buffalo. Bucs and Bills look to avoid back-to-back defeats and right their course as we head into the second half of the season. The Buccaneers are 5.5-point underdogs, so relatively big underdogs this week, the Bucs, and the over-under's 47.5. How are you feeling? Alex, we'll jump to you. How are you feeling about how the Bucs match up against the Bills?
Do I go for the honest answer or the biased answer, like Jamie asked a moment ago? What's good for this one? Honest answer. I mentioned not too long ago about the games that we've lost, and they are against, essentially they are against the teams who are the better teams in the NFL.
Yep.
We, for some reason, we just don't really seem to show up exceptionally well when it comes to those really tough teams in the NFL. Buffalo are not going to want to go to losses on the bounce. That is, especially, since Josh Allen has been there, you don't really hear 2 losses on the bounce in Buffalo. While I do believe we have a team that wants to play for top bowls, 100%, for some reason, like I say, we just come up against those stronger teams and we just can't do it for whatever reason. And the fact that we're going to Buffalo as well, we're on the road, which Buffalo is a tough place to play. Thankfully, I mean, I haven't checked the weather. I'm hoping there's no snow during Buffalo for this one, because we know what the snow can be like over there. Josh Allen is going to have Josh Allen and the whole of the Buffalo team are going to have a chip on their shoulder after last week, because they shouldn't have lost to Miami. Fair play to Miami. They came out of the blocks and they played incredibly well. I don't think that was a result anyone foresaw. I certainly didn't in my predictions for last week, and it came to bite me on the bum, so to speak. So it's going to be a really, really tough game. We are going to need Baker to play at that MVP level on Sunday. We're going to need Ibuka to lead that wide receiver core. Some good news though for us is that Bucky is back in practice. Bucky Irving is back. Now, whether or not he plays is a completely different matter. If he does, I will have an edge there, because he's been incredible as well. Had an amazing rookie season last year, the first running back to get over 1,000 yards from scrimmage since Doug Martin. So that shows just how good he was last season, and he started off really well this season. We've got to get that run game going. We really need to get run game going, particularly because we are struggling a bit in the depth of the wide receivers. Don't get me wrong, like I said earlier, they are stepping up, but we need the run game to help them out. And I like Richard White. He's a good running back. For me, he's more a power back. He's not an elusive back. And Sean Tucker, he can get those elusive runs, but Bucky is just something a bit different. But then to help that, obviously, our O-line's got to make sure that they're there as well. And we've got some big injuries to that O-line as well. We lost Cody Mott, for example. He's currently on the IR list, and he's been incredible since we come up. Since he joined us, since we drafted him, he's been outstanding. So we're going to have to pull everything out of the bag to get something from this. It's going to be tough. So that's my honest answer. My biased answer is that we're going to absolutely sweep the Bills, and the defense is going to stop Josh Allen from scoring a touchdown, and we're going to have a great night. There's my biased answer for you.
Okay. But yeah, you just feel you're right. Like I say, you feel like there will be a reaction and a bounce back from the Bills because just the way the games are this week. Obviously, the Patriots play. We're recording on Thursday, just to reveal the magic of our show. But yeah, the Patriots play tonight, and they can put the pressure on the Bills again. By that's Patriots will be 3 games ahead of them then. And it's just making the Bills margin for error so small in terms of probably they're going to have to beat the Patriots and probably can't afford to drop another game in terms of trying to catch the Patriots. So in that AFC East, so it kind of feels like, again, if the Patriots do what's expected tonight and take care of business, there's a lot on this game for Buffalo, and so that's a very difficult side to place. Alex, where do you Jamie, where do you think this one's going to be won and lost? Where do you think what are the key battles in this one this week?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've always been a big fan of Rashad White, and I think running backs are a big one. James Cook hasn't done really well, especially for me in fantasy, because he's my running back this year, and he hasn't done anything in the last 2 or 3 weeks. So this is the game he's going to do it, especially after Trayvon Henderson last week. But like I said, we had the Patriots hadn't had any running back hit over 50 yards against them. We did that last week. So I think our running game could be that big surprise. Everyone's just manning up on Ibuka right now. Those gaps are going to open up. And I think Baker needs to use his feet more. We didn't really see him scramble last week. It's the scrambling game. Josh Allen, arguably the best at it in the game. Baker Mayfield, over the last 2 years and this season, been the best at it. So it could all come down to those quarterback rushes, getting those extra yards, getting those first downs, keeping the ball, and then getting it out of Josh Allen's hands. He's had a bit of fumbles. He's had a bit of a shaky few weeks. So Baker's only had 2 interceptions. He's been very, very good and very clean with the ball this season. So got to be clean, get those extra yards, and just try and punch it out of Josh.
And is there a little bit, because normally we see Baker make these when things get a little bit crazy and chaos happens, that Baker can kind of find these lanes to get out, and just it's usually a big play. It's usually 3rd down to keep a drive alive. And weirdly, I was looking at it earlier just in preparation for speaking to you guys. 3 games in a row, he's not had a single rushing attempt, when normally we see 3, 4. Is there something more to it? Is he hurt and we don't know about it? Because that just seems odd for Baker.
Yeah, I think there was that 1 week where he was limping a little bit, and we're like, oh my god, is he gonna do something? And then luckily the bye week came. We thought maybe he's gonna do something, but the Patriots were so good, in terms of their defense. They are one of the best rushing defenses. So hopefully we might have a little bit more freedom against the Bills, and hopefully we might see Baker trying. He's had a few weeks resting that ankle. Hopefully now we're actually going to see him get back to it. But there was a moment where, you saw it when he got down really injured, then somebody gave him some smack talk, straight back up. He's like, no, I'm not having any of that. And right back at him. So I think, yeah, he might have had some kind of ankle issue. Hopefully that's cleared up, and then we're going to see him back at doing Baker stuff, shaking and baking.
Shaking and baking, excellent. Looking forward to it. It's a great matchup. So I'm going to ask you, I actually said I wouldn't a few minutes ago, but I'm going to give us a score prediction for the game on Sunday then. Alex, do you want to start first?
No, because I don't think the Bucs community are going to like me for this. I think like I said about the Bills having the chip on their shoulder, I think if we're going to get anything out of this, our defense have really got to show what they can do. I mean, and we haven't mentioned defense a lot. I certainly have been banging on about the offense. We do have a really good defense. So, and we really need the defense to step up and do what they are capable of, which we've seen that they can do. But I think the Bills will have a bit too much for us. So I'm going to say it's going to be 17-28 to the Bills.
I tell you what, fair play, Alex, because that's probably a first in good teams with great teams cover history. With 3 seasons in, it's our 3rd full season. So we've had a guest every week for 18 weeks. So what's that, 40-odd guests, nearly 50-odd guests. First time somebody's gone, actually, I think we might get beat this week. So fair play in terms of kind of a bit of an honest assessment of the game. So, yeah, awesome. Fair play to you. Jamie, give us I suppose the other way, give us your score prediction.
I mean, I've got to be the optimistic one now, don't I? So I was a guest on the Patriots one. I was a guest on the Patriots podcast last week, and I was like, "Oh, this is going to be a shootout. We're going to go 38-35. It's going to be great." It was nowhere near that. So my predictions aren't that great. So I'm going to go a little bit more realistic this time. I think maybe a little bit more field goals in this. I'm going to go. It's going to be close. I do reckon. I'm going to go with the same prediction I went with in terms of the end. A Chase McLaughlin field goal walk-off win. And I'm going to go 27-24.
Nice, 27-24. What's that?
I think we're just going to take it like that, maybe. It's going to be close.
Real close.
Field goal will win it.
I can tell that one.
Excellent, good stuff. Yeah, I see that one for sure. And like I say, looking forward to what should be a really good and competitive game. Excellent. So we're going to finish off. You guys, between you, or whether else you're taking on our fourfold challenge. So just a reminder if anybody that's listening and watching will know what our fourfold challenge is, but just in case they've missed it, we have our guests pick one favourite, one underdog, one over, one under from the slate of NFL games for the week. Works out as a 12-1 bet. We'll see if the guests can hit it. We've only hit one so far, so it's not easy to do. And we make it very, very difficult by nature in terms of the specifics on it, but it's a bit of fun. So, Alex, I think you've got the list. So, tell us who your favourite of the week is.
I've gone for the Patriots for my favourite.
Excellent, big favourites as well this week.
Big favourites.
Yeah, big favourites. I think they're 13-point favourites against the Jets as well. Also, ballsy picking Thursday Night Football as well, because this could be dead by the time this airs, because this doesn't come out until tomorrow morning or Friday morning. So it could be dead before anybody's even heard it. So, yeah, fair play. Patriots minus 13. Yeah, how do you think that one's going to go then? Thursday Night Football, the Patriots hosting the Jets.
I'm not the best person to ask about this. I'll tell you why. So, I had the Jets losing every game this season after we saw how it started, and there was an NFL pool that I was in, a prediction pool, where you just had to pick the winner. That's all you had to do. And who was it? Was it I think it was the Browns, actually. Was it the Jets Browns? I went for the Browns to Bengals. Sorry, Jets Bengals. That was who it was. I went for the Bengals to beat the Jets. So I want to say that the Patriots are going to absolutely sweep the floor with them, and that because Drake May has been superb this season, and I was impressed with the way he played against us. So I really think, and I was singing Mike Varble and the Patriots praises earlier on, because I do really like Mike Varble as coach, and I think he's done a good job in New England with Drake May. So I believe that the Patriots are going to sort of sweep the floor with them. But like I said, I also said the Bengals were going to beat them. So who knows?
Yeah. And Thursday Night Football can get a bit funny as well. Like we saw that last week, the Broncos were big favourites against the Raiders. They beat them, but only just. So, yeah, can be a bit funny Thursday night, and especially throwing it being a division game as well. Can get a little bit funky. But yeah, Patriots is your favourite. Cool, we like that. Who's the underdog you've picked then?
I've gone for the Broncos.
Broncos, yeah.
They have been just very quietly doing the job. Sean Payton's coming. He looks like he's found his guy. He's found his quarterback, and they're having a good season. So, I've got Knicks as my quarterback in my fantasy team, so I've been keeping a bit of a close eye on that one. So, I think the Broncos are they are my underdog. I think they could do it again.
Yeah, they're at home against the Chiefs this week, and again, that feels like one they could kind of knock the Chiefs out of that division race for sure. That'll be 4 games clear. They'd be with 7 to play. So feels a big one, that one this week, in terms of the Chiefs really, really need it to keep it close in the division. So we'll see. But yeah, Broncos are 3.5-point underdog. So yeah, good shout. Let's go with your under next. Where do you think it might be a little bit of a struggle for points this week?
Yeah, I've gone Panthers Falcons.
Fair enough. Yeah, Panthers Falcons.
No, I've got more to say about that, really, is that? So yeah, Panthers Falcons.
Just hope they just both have a miserable day. Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah, that's from my NFC South and the Buccaneers perspective as well. I don't want them to have a good day. So
that's fair.
Yeah.
How does it feel like, again, I mentioned it a little bit earlier on, but did you think you'd get to this point kind of halfway through the season and it'd be the Panthers who were the closest to you guys in the division?
I mean, I can see Jamie shaking his head, so I want to hear what Jamie's got to say on it as well. But I'm going to say I actually think that yes, because they've been doing a rebuild now for quite a few years. So at some point, that rebuild had, it was going to click at some point. Even though Dave Canales didn't have a great start last year in Charlotte, in Charlotte, Carolina, yes. Yeah. God, honestly, it's only 7:45 here in the UK. What's going on? It seems to be that he's found that thing, whatever it is. It seems to be coming together right now. The Saints have been diabolical now for a few seasons, which I'm not going to lie. So no, I'm not sorry to any Saints fans watching actually, but I'm thrilled about that. I'm going to be quite honest. Especially that Cam Jordan's now not having great seasons. Who's disappointed about that? And then the Falcons are. Well, they're the Falcons really at the minute, aren't they? They're still working out their quarterback situation. Obviously they signed Cousins, didn't they, a few years ago to this monster deal. Then they go and sign Penix Jr. on this huge rookie contract. So, not really sure what's going on there. But so yeah, for me, I'm not surprised. But if we can throw it over to Jamie, Paul, that'd be great. Because I did see him shaking his head. I'd love to hear Jamie's thoughts on this one.
Yeah, go for it, Jamie.
Yeah, I mean, I think I only come into it because if you think when Baker Mayfield signed for the Buccaneers, I remember looking on Sky Bet and Buccaneers, we were 4th in our division. We were favourites to finish bottom of our division. No one expected anything from us. And like I said, the Atlanta Falcons got Kirk Cousins from Vikings after coming off that really good season. They signed Bijan Robinson, who's an absolute beast of a man. And the Falcons were like, yeah, we're winning everything. We're going to do everything. I think Falcons with Kyle Pitts, the unicorn, apparently, Drake London, they do have a really strong team. So for me, I was like Falcons are going to be kind of up there. The Saints, like you mentioned, I do love the downfall of the Saints. I think that's the one game I'm like, that's the game we need to win. So I think Carolina, yeah, maybe in the third, but I thought Falcons wouldn't be that team that would be competing with. But yeah, especially with Bryce Young, it's a surprise. Like you look at Carolina, and I'm like, I know they've got Bryce Young, and I can't really name any other like elite player for them. That's a surprise. I go to Atlanta Falcons, I could go Drake London, I can go Bijan Robinson, I can go through these players, but like Carolina's like McMillan. Like who else is it? Adam Thielen's just gone back. It's like, who else is there really? He left, sorry, he's gone. So I'm like, I can't name any other Panthers players. I'm glad CMC's gone because, I hated playing him 2 games of the season. But yeah, they've just been more of this kind of team that have just played well together without those superstar egos. So
yeah. It's interesting because the Bucs play the Panthers week 16 and week 18, so it will be interesting to see kind of if the Panthers had kind of took a big backward step last week, but if the Panthers can just kind of keep close, then all of a sudden week 16 becomes a real big game in terms of if the Panthers upset the Bucs there. It's on the last couple of weeks in terms of who's going to win that division, but there's a long way to go before we get there. Yeah, anyway, but we just want to keep, from a neutral perspective, we want to keep these division races exciting. The more big games we get at the end of the season, the better for us, anyway. But yeah, I understand from your perspective, you want it all sewn up, by week 15 or whatever. So I get that. Cool. And then give us your just to finish off, give us your over then, Alex. Where do you think there's going to be a lot of points this week?
Yeah, I'll be honest. This is more just me hoping as an NFL fan. Yeah, on this one. I look at that Detroit Philly game. I'd love just to see, just as a fan, it would just be so fun to see both of those offenses just go for it. And they've both got really good offenses, but then they do both have pretty decent defenses as well. So, but so purely as an NFL fan, I don't think this will happen. But if we could see just a shootout between Detroit and Philly, that would be just good fun.
Yeah, why the hell not? Yeah, Lions Eagles on Sunday Night Football. Yeah, really, it'd be great to have a really good Sunday Night Football game. I think we've had a couple of duds the last few weeks, so yeah, it'd be nice to have a big shootout there in Philly. Eagles Lions should be fun. Excellent, gents. Before I let you go, just give me a reminder again. Where can we follow, find everything Bucs UK related?
Yep, so we've got all our social media pages. We've got Facebook, Twitter, X, Instagram, YouTube. We've got our website as well, bucsuk.org. We've got our YouTube channel, which we've got some of the older videos on at the minute. But as I said earlier, keep an eye out for that next season. We're going to be back on there. If you do go to our Twitter X page as well, we've got a pinned post at the top, and we've got a link to all of our social media pages on there as well. And if there is anyone who's listening who is a Bucs fan in the UK and he's not joined us, head over to our website, click the link to join. All the information is there. We're always happy to welcome new members. We want to welcome new members. Keep growing our club. It'll be great to welcome you on board.
Excellent. Yeah, if you're a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan in the UK, these are the guys you need to be involved with. Go increase the size of the crew, right? That's what we're after.
Absolutely.
For the Bucs UK guys. Excellent. Well, it's been a pleasure to have you both on the show. Appreciate you coming on and talking all things Tampa Bay Bucs. I will see you both on Sunday at the party in Leeds. So yeah, I'll be probably shoving a microphone in your face. So don't run away, please, guys. And I'll see you on Sunday. Best luck for the game and best luck for the rest of the season. We're going to finish off our Week 11 preview episode now by previewing the remainder of the Sky Sports games and the primetime games. And, of course, sharing our best bets. Thanks again there to Alex and Jamie from Bucs UK. Make sure you're giving those guys a follow at Bucs UK across your socials. And if you're a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan in the UK and you're not a part of the group, go join them. They do a lot of great work, a lot of events. Just great stuff from the Bucs UK guys. And yeah, we're looking forward to hanging out with them on Sunday as they host their watch party at the Library Pub in Leeds. Hopefully we'll not be as bad luck as we've been to all other watch parties. 0-3. I think we've picked bad games. Well, they pick good games to show, tough games for their teams. Anyway, let's get into the bets. Bucs Bills best bets. Let's see what we've got. It's me first, so I should know what we've got. Over. I'm going to go points. Give me 47.5. I think this one might be a fun one. Feel like the Bills are potentially heading into this game three full games behind the Patriots, or 3.5 really, I guess, with a bit of tiebreaker depending what happens Thursday night. If, as expected, Patriots take care of business, Buffalo don't really have much room for error, so I think they're going to come out firing. They had such a disappointing performance against the Dolphins last week offensively. I think they'll right that. So I'm expecting points, big points early. I think we might just see a bit of a basketball game between the Bucs and the Bills, just going up and down on each other. That's a terrible phrase in there. Going up and down the field. It's a family show. Going up and down the field. And yeah, points. Potentially, whoever's got the ball last situation win, which would be great to see. And yeah, I'm going to stop talking.
And I also think it's going to be two teams going to town on each other, and including that over is going to be both quarterbacks playing over 250 passing yards. 92, I thought was a really nice price. It's slightly over both quarterbacks' average for the season. And to be fair, the Bills haven't been passed on super easily this year, but I think they're kind of getting a bit sick of the Rashad White experience as a running back. I think they can't wait to have Bucky Irving back. I think it's going to be 1 week too early for him this week. But I think it's going to make a play field, get him to air it out, and Josh Allen going to be hero ball again. I think it's going to be a great game. I think there's going to be a ton of passing. And yeah, both quarterbacks over 250 yards, 9-2 for me.
Did you see, just before we move on to Joe's bet, the bit of kind of patter they've had between each other this week, Baker and Josh Allen?
Small hands.
Yeah, small hands.
And the double
Baker
gloves.
2 gloves to golf, yeah.
I did see, yeah.
Great stuff.
Banter.
Great banter, lads. Yeah, here for it. Joe, your bet?
Yeah, just like what Byron mentioned, it could be a bit premature. But Bucky Irving, so I've got White and Tucker anytime touchdown scorers at 27-4. I think he's going to be similar to you guys, plenty of points. It's definitely a strong contender for an over in the fourfold. I think, even though I'll probably lean the Bills to win, I think the Bucs are going to cover, but their run defense wasn't great last week, and I think it's going to continue with all their injuries. Depends how many their players will comes back, but it feels like White and Tucker will split in the carries. So anytime touchdowns for both of them is certainly in play.
Yeah, as well. Just quick on this one. Bucs have never beat the Bills in Buffalo.
Yes. And weirdly, though, they don't play in Buffalo very often. They've only played there 3 times ever out of 11 games ever. Only 3 of them have been in Buffalo. The Bucs are actually 8-1-1 lifetime against the spread against the Bills. Not so good in Buffalo, but that's lifetime there. And in fact, the last time the Bills covered the spread against the Bucs, I have a number 1 for you, was September 20, 2009. Figure this is about your boys' era for music, right? Number one, yeah. So what was the UK number 1, 20th September 2009? You can also have the US one, you guess it. So
Kings of Leon, Sex on Fire.
That's too late.
No. Don't know what the timeline. It's just wrong. I'll tell you that.
It's like a couple of years out. Is it what was that even close ballpark of like genre or
No? Much more pop R&B.
2009.
The UK and the US are different songs, but like both like Get You Up, Bangery.
Bangery.
Bangery. I wouldn't call them bangers, but the Bangery.
The Bangery. 2009. I feel all things going through my head are too early. Give me. Is it someone like Neo or someone like that?
No, one is a solo male, but it's not Neo. I think they're from the UK, and the band is an American band for the US.
Is it someone like Tinchy Strider or something like that?
No, I'll put you out of your misery. It's not Tinchy Strider. Great shout, though. Tayo Cruz, Break Your Heart.
Oh. I thought that was in the right area there. Yeah.
He's American, I think.
Well, it was number 1 in the UK. That's all I had. You know, I'm thinking the Bucs will cover here. In fact, you could say, I got a feeling.
Very good.
It was Black Eyed Peas.
Just in case we didn't get that, yeah.
So, yeah, it's been a while since the Bills covered against the Bucs, surprisingly.
So that's me and Byron both sang on this episode. So, Joe, when are you going to do your turn?
Maybe later on. We'll wait and find out. We'll make a tease.
Excellent, cool. Yeah, stick around for Joe bursting into song spontaneously. Cool, right. Anything else on Bucs Bills? What should be a great game? Looking forward to this one. No, excellent. All right, let's move on. Sky late game. Criminal that have picked this one, but I think it's just because of the kickoff time, sadly, of the NFC West clash. They just moved it by 20 minutes. It'd probably be the Sky Sports main game, but sadly, it's not. It is the Kansas City Chiefs, 3.5-point favorites at the Denver Broncos. Over/under is 45. Chiefs saddle up to keep division hopes alive. Broncos have the opportunity to land the kill shot on the Chiefs' hopes of a 10th straight AFC West title. Will Bo blow them away? Family show. What do we make on this one, guys? Really feels like the Chiefs have to have this one if they've got a chance of winning the division.
Yeah, the Broncos are going to win another few funky games the rest of the way. They had another one last week against the Raiders. Horrible, horrible game. Bo Nix just does not look right. I've heard of sophomore slumps, but this is there's no injury or anything. He just looks terrible. I've seen some report on the internet the other day on Twitter, so I mean, take it for what it's worth, but saying I think they should go to Jarrett Stidham at some point this season. And I mean, if you're going to Jarrett Stidham, you said Bo Nix is a failure. I don't think you can do that as an organization, whatever you think of Bo Nix. I kind of said that the Jags might go to Nick Mullins, but I think they're happy writing Trevor Lawrence off. He's, Bo Nix in his second year. He might be an older rookie, but yeah. And I think I agree. It's a massive game. Probably not going to be as fun one as our power rankings 1 and 2, like you say, the Hawks and the Rams. But this is a massive game. With the way the Kansas City Chiefs season has gone, it is must win. I don't think they can afford to fall another one behind and then give up the tiebreaker to the Broncos. So really to see what they throw at the Broncos here. We expect Pat Surtain still out, right?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
So, yeah, that's a huge advantage because they have been rolling since Rashee Rice's suspension finished. I think he's been playing as well as any wide receiver in the game, really. And when you consider the season JSN and Puka Nacua having, that's obviously high praise. In fantasy points per game, he's equal with Puka Nacua ahead of JSN, very close, but I think that just speaks to how impressive he's been and how much he is Patrick Mahomes' security blanket. Kelsey obviously gets the benefit of less coverage in that system. And you've always got Xavier Worthy for something. I'm not sure if he's hit quite as they would hope he has in a consistent basis, but when you have that speed and you can catch the ball, you're always a threat. And I think they'll try and take advantage of that coming off the bye week. I have no doubt you're going to tell us something fun about Andy Reid off the bye week, Paul.
I've not, no. I should have done. Completely forgot.
Well, we know he's great coming off the bye anyway.
Yeah, I completely forgot that he was off the bye. But Broncos have won 10 in a row at home. I think that's kind of gone under the radar. A little, the Broncos are on a great home run. Chiefs pretty good against the Broncos usually. Won 8 of their last 10 versus the Denver Broncos, but only gone 3-7 against the spread. I love 3.5 here for the Broncos. I think the Chiefs win, Broncos cover. That's where I'm going with this. I feel like that's where we're at with this. Chiefs just cannot afford to lose it. I think this will plunge the Chiefs in crisis talk again if they fall to 5-5, because then they're fighting with. Then it's a case of, well, do they get in the playoffs? They will, of course they will. But then you're fighting with the Jags and stuff on whoever else to get the 7th seed as opposed to winning the division. Play that I like here, not necessarily the game. I think the Chiefs will win the game. I really do. It's just I think in these must-win situations, they always find a way, don't they, to pull it off, and I think they will, because the Broncos are just going to lose some more of them funky. They're not just going to keep winning those kind of games that they've been involved in. What I do like though is if the Chiefs win, noise is going to be Chiefs can catch him. Chiefs. They're coming. Broncos might falter. Chargers not great, but still got a lot of wins. You're gonna get the odds Chiefs to win the division plummet. You're gonna get slightly better odds on the Broncos to win the division. If the Chiefs win, place your bet on Broncos to win the AFC West on Monday because you're gonna get a bit of a boost. That's kind of my suggestion as a degenerate gambler. I've seen these things play out before, and I can't see the Chiefs coming all the way back and winning the division. It's too bigger. It's just too far to come, isn't it? Because the Broncos are going to get to 12 wins. It'd be disastrous.
Yeah. And I do think one aspect maybe isn't going to help the Broncos, and we'll see kind of the big moment is RJ Harvey. J.K. Dobbins, certainly out for this game, I believe he's been placed on IR, so he's going to be out for at least 4 games, 5 weeks, because they've got a bye coming up. We'll see if RJ Harvey is the real deal. Sean Payton loves to spread those running back touches around, but I don't think Tyler Bidet is going to make a huge impact. So a lot going to be on RJ Harvey's plate, and we'll see how he stacks up to it, because it's not an easy team to run on, the Kansas City Chiefs. So, yeah, big test for RJ Harvey, the running back one.
Excellent. Joe, thoughts on how this one's going to go?
Yeah, I'm similar to you. I'm leaning the Chiefs. I just think it's a huge game. I think like last week against the Bills, obviously was the big matchup, 2 weeks ago, before the bye, but they could afford to lose that game. They can't afford to lose. If they lose this game, the division's done. There's no point even contemplating that. So this is a huge, and that's why I think the Chiefs will step up. I think having that bye week, like we mentioned, there's huge, hundreds and hundreds of stats about how Andy Reid does after the bye, but there's always the how the defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo always comes on strong as the season goes on, and I think they've been playing better and better. And you're playing the Broncos offense, which is just not firing whatsoever. I know it was not the greatest weather against that Raiders team, but it was atrocious, and it's been week on week out where they've pulled out these wins in the last quarter, and Bo Nix managed to do enough to win these games. But there's been plenty of games where he's not throwing, he's not even reaching 200 yards, is getting around 150, and they're just not going anywhere. And I think this Chiefs defense can falter them. And I think if the Chiefs get up on the Broncos, then I think that I can't see them coming back. I think the Chiefs are just too strong. So all the way Broncos win this is if it's a low-scoring game like it was against the Raiders, where it's 12-9, it's like 15-12. There's a lot of field goals and not a lot going on. But I think the Chiefs have got a too explosive now. And we'll talk about Travis Kelce. It was surprising that he had most receiving yards for tight end. I think it was 2 weeks ago. I'm not quite sure what it is now. So he's getting better as the season goes on. Obviously, getting Rashee Rice, getting Worthy, getting all these weapons just helps this Chiefs defense and also Josh Simmons is back this week. Obviously, it's not a great week to come back against the team who's on track of getting the most sacks ever in a season. but I think they can be able to like slow them down. And I think it's going to be a lot of quick throw from the Chiefs and a lot of trickery, just to, like you mentioned, get Worthy up, and maybe so a lot of rushes from him, and just a lot of dump offs just to try and catch this Broncos team before they get to Mahomes. So I see the Chiefs winning this, and I've actually one of my bets, which I'm contemplating, is Chiefs minus 7.5. I think they're just going to get up and not let this Broncos team come back and just dominate, and we'll all be here, like you said. Oh, the Chiefs are back; they're going to win this division, etc., etc.
Yeah, me and you were odds on a lot of things this week, Joe. Not like us. 22-4. Andy Reid off a bye. There you go. 22-4 straight up. I'm going under. I don't think there's going to be a lot of points in this one. Like I said, that Broncos offense not been great. The Broncos offense has not been great, going against some pretty bad defenses as well. So I just can't see how they're going to come to life all of a sudden against a good defense in the Chiefs. And yeah, I feel like this might be again both teams under 20 type of game. Good one though. I still think it'd be a good game. Like it's a high stakes game, and I think we just be a bit low scoring. Give me a scumbag bunker walk off field goal for the win for the Chiefs, but I'm going to say under 45. I just think it's going to be a struggle, but the Chiefs are just going to find a way. Yeah,
and I realised I was talking a little bit. My bet is the Chiefs minus 6.5, 13-10. It was my worthy bet I was looking at. Like I mentioned before, I think the Chiefs go short. I think one thing we'll give him a shout out. Alex Singleton is obviously he's had surgery, testicular cancer, and he's their highest tackles for the team as well. So I think that's huge to missing one of your main linebackers. But having Greenlaw come back, he's coming on strong, and Hufanga as well. They're starting to produce. So. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting. But I've just got a feeling the Chiefs are just going to get up early, and just that Bo Nix is going to throw a few interceptions and make a few mistakes, and you'll see Sean Payton tearing his hair out at his with his quarterback.
You still sticking on the under, Paul?
I am still sticking with the under, even though Joe's clearly trying to make a question it.
Fantastic, and you're quite right about Singleton. Nowhere worse to hurt your D than by getting a testicular operation. So. Best wishes to him. I have gone for Rashee Rice, 2+ touchdowns at 17-2. Again, he's just been dominant since he came back. He's had a touchdown, or he's had 3 touchdowns in 3 games since he came back. I think a 2 and a 1, not 1 in every game. And I think he'll continue this week. There is soft spots of the Broncos defensive linebackers is one of them, and not going to be helped with missing players. But also no Pat Satan. I don't think the DB room is excellent without him. They're fine, but they're not shining. I think Jardy Barron's having a bit of a rough rookie season. So I think Rice could be a real weapon in and around the end zone, as he usually is. So 2+ touchdowns, 17-2 for me for Rashee Rice.
Excellent. Let's head to prime time. This one's a cracker. I think we've got three huge games. We just talked about one. This is another. Broad Street battle with huge number 1 seed fallout. The Lions 2.5-point underdogs. The Philadelphia Eagles over/under is 46.5. 2 of the NFC's elite teams take center stage in prime time for a clash with playoff implications. We'll likely see this again in January, but will it be in Philly or Detroit? Yeah, I think this is ultimately could have a huge say in who ends up being the number 1 seed for the NFC. We've got a great game here. Lions underdogs, obviously rare to see, +2.5 at the Eagles. What are your feelings on this one? This hopefully we're going to get a Sunday Night Football classic here.
Yeah, I don't have a strong take on it, and we all 3 agree on the ATS, which doesn't fill me with love and joy, because it's definitely who me and you want to win, Paul. I don't know how strong Joe's feelings are against the Eagles, but love the Lions always. Love Dan Campbell. Yeah,
that's not true.
Feels like it might be. Any plus points that you don't like and we all take, I think is a trap. And apparently Joe does too. So Dan Campbell did take over play calling last week, and we've seen Jameson Williams boom because of it. And we had you two had him in your lineups in Fantasy Game Day because of it, and it paid off great for Joe. Couldn't carry you too much, Paul, but can only do so much. But I think we're going to see a lot of JMO again. I think we see a lot of David Montgomery this week because I think Dan Campbell fucking loves him. Ultimately, might bode well for Jahmyr Gibbs down the stretch. But yeah, I think Montgomery will have a big game this week. And there is talk, well, not so much talk. Sam Laporta's been missing time this week. He missed training again today, Thursday. Huge loss if he's not there. Because I don't think you can really open too much more up for Amon-Ra St. Brown. You know, he already gets peppered with target. Maybe more for J Moore. Maybe Isaac Tesla gets more in there. But I think Laporta would be a huge miss. And it might even be one of them, if he gets ruled out, where I'd be tempted to change to the Eagles at -2.5. I think it's that close of a game where, you know, one of your key players missing it could be huge. And I think on the other side of the coin, is this an AJ Brown squeaky wheel game? Because I don't think there's many. Is there a squeakier wheel in NFL history than this? I mean, maybe T.O. back in the day, but this is one seriously squeaky wheel. He's going on Twitch and openly saying he's unhappy with how things are going, which, you know, I understand why he's unhappy to a degree, but he's getting 6 targets a game in a lot of games at least. You know, that's not somebody who's been left out of the offense. They're 7-2. They're comfortably winning their division. You know, Washington are no threat, Dallas are no threat, Giants are no threat. I don't know. It just feels like it's a guy who's posturing to leave, and the trade market's already closed, so I'm not quite sure what his play is for the rest of the season. It comes across to me as a bit diva-ish and a bit annoying, truthfully. But I think they probably tried to get him more involved this week just to shut him up, basically.
He did it. He also told everyone to get rid of him out of their fantasy football teams as well.
Yeah, I traded him for him in one Dynasty League last week because I thought he's at a great price. He's surely going to go up. And then 6 days later, he was like, oh, get rid of me in fantasy. I'm like,
could have got even cheaper.
AJ. Yeah. But yeah, fascinating game. And I think Joe's picked the cover of the overlay here perfectly well, because I think the 2 best protectors in the league this year, Penei Sewell, Lane Johnson, they obviously don't go head to head, but I think it'd be great just to watch them 2 guys matching up at different times of the field against each other and kind of both showing off their all-pro skills.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how the Lions approach it offensively, because, again, you kind of say the Eagles' strength defensively is that interior of the defensive line. Mm-hmm. So is hammering Montgomery into that the right way to go about it? I don't know. But he seems to like that. He seems to be the script, don't they? They just decide, oh, it's a Montgomery week, and they did that against the Vikings. It didn't really work. Yeah. So I don't know if they repeat that or they try and go, actually, maybe we need to get outside, and that's where it is. On that note, Jalen Phillips had a great debut for the Eagles on Monday night against the Packers. Obviously, they won that horrible game against the Packers, but found a way to win in Lambeau, as great teams do. And they won as road underdogs last week. So, yeah, I think this is, again, just that, as most games are, but especially with these 2, the battle's on the line is where it's at. We've seen the Lions get a bit better on the interior of their defensive line as well with the return of Len McNeil. So, yeah, very interested to sort of see how this goes. Just a quick one on the Eagles. Jair Alexander, this has just got weird. So they just traded for him. They just gave up a pick or 2 picks to get him. And now he's just walked away. And if it's just the injuries that are just taking a toll on him.
Yeah, I don't think he's announced he's retired as such yet. He's just announced he's taking the time away from football. Yeah. And that's the second time it's happened for the Eagles. I mean, they didn't trade for Zadarius Smith, but they acquired him after week 1 of the season. And he announced he was retiring before week 2. And yeah, Jair Alexander's been there. I mean, he's been there for 1 game, right? Because they won a bye last week. And he's decided he's semi-retiring. Again, I don't quite know what the term is. Having a sabbatical. I don't imagine he comes back into the league after that, but we never know. Just, yeah, super peculiar. Don't know what's going on with him. Wish him well, I guess, if he is struggling, but very unusual situation.
Yeah. Joe, sorry, come to you, Joe. How are you feeling about this one?
Yeah, I think it's going to be, obviously it's going to be a battle. I think it could be a low-scoring one. I think it's one of them where you expect fireworks, but there's been a few of the Eagles games where you expect to be points, and it's just a struggle for both teams. They both want to run the ball, and So I've obviously leaning the Lions, like you guys have mentioned, that it just feels having the plus points and everything what's going on with the Philadelphia, but I also wouldn't be surprised if the Eagles win as well and just cover and win by 1. I think it's going to be a close battle. It's really, I think it's down to the as usual, the quarterbacks. Can they just play mistake-free games? There's been plenty of times where Goff just doesn't look right in games, and same with Jalen Hurts, where it just feels like what's happening, like the game against the Giants, for example, on Thursday Night Football, where nothing was clicking. So I think it's huge on them. But yeah, I'm leaning the Lions to cover the spread. But yeah, I think this was one of the hardest ones. Which way to pick? I just think it could go either way. And we've mentioned about Sam Laporta. One of my bets was going to be Sam Laporta 2+ touchdowns. 30-1, but if he is out, I'm going to just quickly switch to Jameson Williams, 60+ receiving yards and a touchdown at 9-2. So if Laporta plays, we'll stick with that 30-1. But yeah, like you said, he didn't play on Thursday, so yeah.
I have to double check that I'm hearing you correctly. 3-0-1.
Yes,
3-0.
for two touchdowns.
2 touchdowns, 2+.
I thought the wonderful tight end bet was always 14-1.
It is, yeah. For Sam Laporta.
30-1 on Sam Laporta.
Yeah, maybe because he is injured and might not play.
Yeah, I mean, well, if he doesn't play, you get a refund. So
yeah.
But I guess he's got 14-1 on like McBride and Bowers and
Laporta's not pony.
No, he's not a pony, but he's not as big a part of the offense. As
he's only had 3 touchdowns this year as well, so he's probably.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, if he's active, I love that bet. I think that's a great price. As you can tell, I thought it was 13-1, and I was like, "Is Joe just not speaking right?" Or
31. Cool. Joe, flip over to the net. I don't know where you're going now. I'm going over, so again, me and you at odds. Joe, last 9 Eagles Lions meetings have all hit the over. When these two get together, it's usually fireworks. I'm expecting that to continue. So for me to buy in the Lions can be a real threat to win it all. I need them to get a win over one of these elite teams. Probably their best win of the season so far is against the Ravens on Monday Night Football in week 3. And that's not as good as it might have looked, as it sounds. So, they obviously got beat by the Packers, beat by the Chiefs in primetime spot, and then just shit the bed against the Vikings of the week. I need the Lions to beat an elite team to make me fully believe the Lions can win it all again, because I just, at the minute, just think they're a really, really good team, not a great team. Give me the over. I think it's going to be an explosion. Game of the year contender.
I am really glad to hear you mention about the last 9 out of 10. I think you said Eagles-Lions games, because I was getting a little concerned about Jared Goff outdoors, but you've kind of allayed my fears there, so I'm not going to bother harping on about that. I have gone AJ Brown 6+ receptions at 21-10. Squeaky wheel gets the grease. Squeaky AJ Brown gets the ball, I believe is how that expression goes. So yeah, just over 2-1 for him to get 6 catches. I don't think he's crazy. Hopefully we get points. So that means Jalen Hurts has to throw to keep up. So yeah, 21-10, AJ Brown 6+ receptions, and everyone can talk about buying him in fantasy again next week.
Excellent, good stuff. Over under 2.5 Eagles tush pushes that are actually offside that don't get called.
Oh, not offside, but false started. Over 2.5. Yeah, and I have a theory. The refs are deliberately not calling it so that they have a reason to justify throwing it out next year.
Just ban it, yeah.
Yep. Fair. We can't call it properly. It's like, fuck me. Stevie Wonder could call it properly. You can hear the players moving before the snap. But yeah, I think that's what they're doing. The refs done the same in like 2012-ish, 2013, when you could challenge whether something was a catch or not for the first time, and they just wouldn't overrule anything on instant replay. And it got put out the next year. Or maybe even mid-year they took it out. I think it was the following year. I think they're doing the same with the tush push. I think the refs are being naughty little fuckers.
Excellent. Cool. Monday Night Football. A less enticing game on display. Monday Night Football, Cowboys 3.5-point favourites at the Las Vegas Raiders. Over under 50. Cowboys saddle up for Sin City shootout. Can the Dallas defensive reinforcements help change the path and provide a glimmer of hope for a postseason berth? I mean, it's ludicrous. They're going to need to win probably 7 games, which isn't going to happen. But, got to try and give Monday Night Football some juice. Cowboys Raiders. Well, it's obviously the first game since Marshawn Nealon sadly passed away just over a week ago. I don't know how the Cowboys have navigated this week. Obviously, they were on a bye, and it must just I can't really speak about it properly, but just such a difficult week just to navigate that. And, we talked about Brian Schottenheimer a lot and how good I think he's been doing. To be put in, obviously, this is rookie year as a head coach, and to have to try and lead the Cowboys through this, for anybody having to do it, obviously it's difficult. When you're a rookie head coach, having to also kind of deal with this and lead your players and your team and your organization through this, I just want to say I think he's been doing a great job, again, in terms of, just coming out and obviously dealing with the press conferences and how he spoke. And he's just shown just how authentic and genuine person he is. And, maybe you'd want somebody more experienced having to deal with this situation, but I don't think those Dallas Cowboys players and coaches and the people in that building could have had anybody better to help lead them through such a tragic and awful event that happened last week. And then he's also got Dak as well, who's been just a leader through it all. So, some sad news came out that Brian Schottenheimer shared yesterday as well, that Marshawn Nealon's partner was is pregnant, which again just makes kind of the story even sadder. And the Cowboys have set up a foundation, I felt like a fund foundation for Catalina, Marshawn's partner, to make sure that obviously Catalina and baby are taken care of. So the Marshawn Nealon Memorial Fund is there. I think it's available to donate to if people wish to do so. But yeah, I think just wanted to shout out, in horrific circumstances, Brian Schottenheimer. I think from what we've seen and heard, has been amazing. And sort of the player, Solomon Thomas as well, stepped up. And Dak again as always. So just wanted to touch on that before we start talking about the game, which in the grand scheme of things doesn't really mean anything. Cowboys Raiders. Let's just talk about the defensive stuff, if that's all right. I suppose to start, that's the talking part. We'll just talk about that and move on. Obviously, the Cowboys made the trade for Quinn Williams, Logan Thomas, Logan Wilson.
Yeah, I didn't know what you're trying to get to there. The Logan Wilson from the Bengals, linebacker, yes.
Yeah, are in. Demarion Overshawn's had his window open. Don't know if he's going to play Monday. Sounds like he could. Siobhan Ravel, the third-round rookie, who's also been injured, he potentially, Schottenheimer alluded to that he can play this week as well. Do you think these guys can come in and make sort of a big difference to the Cowboys' defense? I don't think they're necessarily going to get tested massively by the Raiders this week, but do you think they can come in and make a big difference on Monday?
I think Quinn Williams certainly should. I think, again, just raises that floor. I mean, this floor is low on this defense, but he just raises it to such a degree of you're not going to get stupid shit happening, I think, on that line so much. Quinn is such a good player. Really reliable, really solid, super professional. I think Logan Wilson has to be an improvement because I don't even know if he's a league average linebacker, but I know Kenneth Murray isn't, and I know Jack Sanborn isn't. So it's really tough to imagine it being worse. So even if he just comes in and he's literally a league average replacement player, that's an improvement on what we have right now. Just to not getting on the Marshawn again of it, but I have no idea how the players are feeling, how they're going to, action and play football next week without him there. So I think getting new faces in might be really helpful in freshening the blood up and having new people to rally around. I think is really useful. Kind of like a unintended benefit, I guess, because how could you know that was coming? So yeah, I think the defense is boosted, like I said, especially Quinn Williams. That's why you give those picks to get him in. And I think the big threat with the Raiders is Ashton Genty, obviously Brock Bowers as well. But I think if you can stop Ashton Genty, I think you can stop the Raiders because it makes them very one-dimensional.
Yeah. I just like they've got, we see sometimes with teams, don't they, in tragic circumstances, they rally together, rally round, and that defense needs to rally round anyway. And, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a big performance from the defensive line this week. Just leaving it all out there. Western Michigan played in the midweek matching, and they honoured Marshawn Nealon. I think it was Tuesday night. They got a big win against Ohio and sort of dedicated the game and everything around him to Marshawn Nealand, who's one of probably the best players to come out of there, really, in terms of how high up he went in the draft. So yeah, obviously, hopefully, like I say, the Cowboys can go and just put in a performance on Monday night. I know in the grand scheme of things it doesn't matter, but just to kind of honour Marshawn Nealand, who's obviously sadly passed away last week. Joe, what are your sort of feelings again? Cowboys Raiders. I suppose the matchup isn't necessarily one greatly to talk about, but
yeah, obviously, a leading Cowboys. It helps playing in Vegas. It's not like it's going to be a raucous crowd. It's probably going to be more Cowboy fans than Raiders fans, so that'll certainly help. And yeah, I think I know Byron said Genti. I always think it's Brock Bowers. You got to stop him. You saw what he did against the Jags, especially in the last few drives where if Geno has a bit of time, then he's going to hit Bowers, and Bowers is going to be open. But what the Broncos did was stop that, and that team just faltered. I think obviously the Broncos defense is a hell of a lot different to the Cowboys. The Cowboys have these where I expect them to win these kind of teams easily, like the Cardinals, the Panthers, even when they were playing the Bears, and they just don't put these teams away and they keep them in. When you look at like the sack numbers, Geno's been sacked the fourth most time in this season, but the Cowboys have not got that one true special pass rusher. And even though how good Quinnen Williams is, he's not really a sack specialist. He had his 12 sacks season in 2022, and then after that, it's 5.5, 6, and he's only got one this year. And I think that was a big thing, just listening to some Jets fans, that, yeah, it was devastating losing him, but he never made them big plays. He was just a good, solid player, which made the line obviously better, and he's a quality defensive tackle, but he doesn't do what like Chris Jones does or what Aaron Donald did, or that kind of player where one snap, he can change the game. And he never really did that. So that's just like the one with that. I think he's going to have a big difference, but how big of a difference for this team? And like you said, Logan Wilson, if you can't get the Bengals linebacker group, then, you don't deserve, you're not really going to make that much difference anywhere else. So I think the Cowboys have just got to start strong, which I think when they do against teams where they start putting points up, it's hard to stop them. But there's been too many times, like against the Cardinals, where they just started off terribly, and it just feels like they're always playing catch up, and they're just like getting their own head. Especially when you look at the talent they've got on offense, that they should steamroll these kind of teams, especially the Raiders. So I'm leaning the Cowboys, especially only being 3.5 as well. I'm going the Cowboys spread, but they just need to Geno's not lighting up. We talked about he might be getting dropped at some point, getting benched because how bad he has been. So make that a statement, because when you look at the games coming up after that, they've got Eagles, Chiefs, Lions. So it might be the last time you actually put in a good performance for your fans. So with the situation, obviously how they're grieving and getting on the field, that's what they want to, what the players want to do to to show out and help them, help them heal. So just do that. Don't just do a Cowboys and just lay an absolute stinker and the crowd get on your back, and it's just a peter out this season and another lost one.
Yeah,
because they have to win to be relevant. Like I said, them 3 games. If they manage to pick one of them games up, you're like, okay, 4-6. But you can see it. Obviously, it's a lot harder. But if they lose this, then it's just like, who really cares going forward?
Yeah, I think to get in, they need to win. Obviously, with the tie, maybe 6 games. Like if they got to 9-6 and I don't know what the maths is. 9-7-1. Is that what that would be? Yeah, 9-7-1. They might sneak in, but they're going to be looking at potentially getting teams that've got a tiebreaker on them. So, like the Bears, for example, like they've got, if they're tied with the Bears, well, they can't be tied. They can't get tiebreaker. It's just with the tie fucked them, didn't it? They're in obviously a weird situation, but yeah, I think they need to win at the 6 of the 8 games, and I can't see how they're going to do that against who they've got to play. So, flip to the bets. Let's just talk the bets, and I'm done with this game. Cowboys minus 3.5. I just think they're going to get it done. I think we've not seen the Cowboys beat up on a bad team for a while. I think they might be. The Raiders are awful. They've lost 8 of the last 10 home games. The Raiders stink. I think the Cowboys are going to put up, and I think we're going to see instant impact on the D line. I think just having Williams, Clark, Osa almost rotating is going to be good, and then you've got, I think then your clown is Azaraku. I think he's coming on real nice. Fowler and stuff can then make plays, and they're going to get a lot more just opportunities, I think, to rush the quarterback. So yeah, I like them. I think the D line's going to show out. And who we got next year?
It's me.
Byron.
Hello. Yeah, I've gone Cowboys DST TD at 5-1. Just the emotion of it. I think it's just set up for a Cowboys defense touchdown, and they all have a nice moment in the end zone. Not much analysis, but truthfully, there wasn't many markets up when I was picking this one last night. So yeah, we'll have a second bet up on our social post, but for now, I've just gone Cowboys defense to get a touchdown.
And it's Geno Smith as well, so that helps.
It doesn't hurt.
I've gone Brock Bowers, 7+ receptions, 70+ receiving yards, and a touchdown, 16-5. I think he's going to be the only dominant player for this Raiders team. I think they're going to stop Gentle, like you said, so they're just going to target Bowers, and then linebackers for the Cowboys are trash. So I can see him having a huge game to just getting all the dumps off, all the just like in between the line and the defense line and linebackers. I think he's gonna cook against the Cowboys because plenty of players have this year, and Bowers is one of the best to do it. So, and he's looking good. I know against the Broncos the first up, but like against the Jags, watching that game, needing the Jags to win by 3.5, I think he just dominated that game where no matter which players are put on him, no one could stop him.
Excellent. Cool. Right, let's move on. 4-4 challenge. You heard the Bucs guys earlier with their 4-4. We're going to draft ours. One favourite, one underdog, 1 over 1 under from the NFL slate this week. And we're looking to hit our second one. Byron's got a 1-game lead over Joe. 23 wins to Joe's 22. I'm 6 behind. Have you settled on your forfeits, guys? If you're going to... if you end up losing, we talked about maybe sharing what the forfeits would be this week, if you've had a chance to think about them.
Not sure me and Johnny to worry about it, mate.
That's what my thought was as well.
Well, I mean, just keep the people,
I think it's something you usually need to maybe discuss with Alex, Jamie, Heath, Fletch, and all the rest of the gang, and see if you guys can come up with a forfeit for you and the 60 guests we've had this season.
Cool. I'm torn between two. I'll share the two that I'm really, really thinking of. So I feel one might be more of a reward than a punishment, but eat my way out of Taco Bell. I just really want to do it. So I feel that's forfeit. And you guys can come up with what the items are worth. It's a fairly limited menu in the UK. So, so 24 hours in a Taco Bell, eat your way out. And a similar one, drink my way out of a Spoons. 24 hours in a Spoons, and again, you guys come up with...
Which one of these was the reward?
Probably the Taco Bell one.
Because they've also horrendous.
Yeah, it does sound like a bit of more reward, so I think we might have to just chuck in a bit of fancy dress there as well, just to top it off.
Excellent. But that's the roughest one of each in Leeds, and you go in your Man United kit.
Yeah.
Oh, good God, yeah.
24 hours in A&E.
Shorts and socks as well. Shorts and socks.
Full kit wanker.
Yeah, I didn't say shirt. Yeah, kit. FKW.
Yeah. That's what I was thoughts. Because I think they could be quite fun, and we could probably make some good videos and stuff off them. So.
Absolutely.
Cool. All right, well, I'll just worry about that then. Right. Byron, go on then. First up.
Perfect. Yeah, I've had a bit of time to think. I am going to take, as my favourite, we haven't talked about the game, so it gives us a chance to do so as well. I'm going to take the Baltimore Ravens -7.5 going to Cleveland.
Yeah, that was my
all on ATS,
favorite.
which it stinks. I don't love that. Not sure I love that it's Paul's favourite either, but, we do what we have to. Yeah, I think the Ravens are just absolutely cooking right now, and the Browns, I think if you offered them the season ending tomorrow, they go, yeah, thank you, yeah. I presume we'll see Shedeur Sanders at some point. And Dylan Gabriel wasn't terrible against the Jets, but he's certainly not an NFL quarterback. We can all see it. And yeah, I just think the Ravens are in kicking ass, taking names, and we are going to storm to the Super Bowl right now mode. I don't know if that means they'll get to the Super Bowl. I presume they get to the playoffs. But yeah, I think they comfortably take care of business against the Browns here, -7.5 on the road.
Cool, excellent. All right, I'm going to crack open. I've got plenty of them, to be fair, but I'm going to crack open the underdogs. Give me the Chicago Bears +2.5. It was +3 earlier. I liked it, obviously more, but +2.5 against the Vikings. I think I'm going to be made to look pretty foolish here. The Bears are terrible divisional game. They've won 1 of the last 10 divisional games. They're awful. This is the test. Can the Bears be good? I don't think this is, if they win this one, it means they are. But this means they can be. And this is more, I think JJ McCarthy's awful than I think the Bears are good. I think he's very young, very just in his first few games. So he might end up being okay. He's terrible at the minute.
Do you remember his best quarter was against the Bears?
Yeah, that's my worry.
1-0 against the Bears.
Was against the Bears. So I also think that can the Vikings sweep them? I think the Bears need to start winning some divisional games because they've not been great in them. I think obviously they'd fall to 0-3 in the division, wouldn't they, if they lost this one? So yeah, I like them. I'll take the points. Bears defense isn't great, but I think they'll do enough. And I just think the Vikings are. Yeah, it's going to be a rough year for the Vikings, so a rough rest of the year. So I'm going to take the Bears plus 2.5 as my favourite underdog of the week.
Yeah. I went the Vikings just because, again, it feels like it's a must-have for them when you look at the division and everything around it. So just the script makers would love just the Vikings just to win and just to make that division just even more condensed. I've just put my over on already because I was getting ready. My over is the Bucs Bills, who obviously we talked about the game already. I'm riding with the Bucs again with another over. I just think both of these teams. I think the Bills' defense is not great, so I think the Bucs will be able to do what they want with game points. And I think because how bad the Bills' offense was last week, I think it's going to be one of them like bounce back. You know, Josh Allen's got something to prove. As I mentioned a few weeks ago, he only turns up when it feels like it's a big game, and this Bucs one is a big game for them. So I can see him scoring, getting up to 30 points, and the Bucs getting to 20-30 as well. Because their defense, especially on the back end, is not amazing compared to stopping the run. So I think, that is my over.
You can have a point as well, Josh. It's 47.5, so you can have a point your way as well.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Very kind of you.
That's how we do when someone gets a line that's moved.
Okay.
Hopefully, I'm going to sting him the other way in a minute.
Yeah. So under. Don't want to go under. I don't like any of these. I'm going to go my favorite. I'm going to go 49ers. Let's go 49ers -3 at At Cardinals, yeah. With Marvin Harrison being out, I think that makes it even stronger. They haven't got much. I worry that the 49ers are just going to let the Cardinals just stay in it because it feels like that's what the 49ers do. Obviously, the defense has not been amazing with all the injuries. I think they just need to go on long drives, just go back to what they used to be able to do. Long drives, keep the ball in their hands, put points in the ball. It sounds like Purdy's back. It sounds like PSO is going to be back, which I think is huge. Even if it was Mac Jones, I would still be fairly confident at -3. I think the Cardinals are again to the point where there's not much to play for, and I think this 49ers team is going to be this Cardinals team fairly comfortable. Just to worry about McBride. I think fantasy game day, his price is crazy. Price is like 6,000, way higher than a lot of other tight ends. But I think he could have a huge game because the 49ers have trouble stopping them, especially with the linebackers they currently have. So yeah, but 49ers -3.
Cool, excellent. Right, so we've got an over, and you two have got your favourites out. So get your favourites out for the lads. I'm gonna go under, and as much as it probably feels like I shouldn't because I love the spot starter this week. I'm going to go Packers Giants under 42.5. I know it goes against everything I believe in with Jameis Winston, but I believe they can win. And I've took them ATS, so I think they'll cover. I think the Giants will win outright. To be fair, so maybe I should come as my underdog. But the theme with the Packers is when they lose, they don't actually give up very many points. I think it'll be a low-scoring game, and the Giants are going to somehow win. Obviously, Brian Daboll's fired this week. Mike Kafka, remember him? Is the interim drafted by the Eagles, I think, as quarterback. And you know what? It makes sense why he's chosen to go to Jameis. So Mike Kafka, he didn't really see much NFL action. I think he filled in a bit for the Eagles. I think he threw about like 12 passes in the NFL. So not really much NFL experience, but did play at Northwestern in the Big Ten. And so one of the stat lines of his game makes a lot of sense as to why Jameis Winston has been chosen to play this week and not Russell Wilson in the absence of Jackson Dart. I had it on my phone earlier, but I remember it because the stat line was that good. 48 completed passes from 78 attempts, 500 and odd yards for 4 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. That's why Jameis is playing this week. I haven't found the game. It's insane. What an insane stat line that is.
Sounds like it's going to northwest, south, and east.
Incredible. My Kafka college football stat line. But I just think kind of the Packers, and I just don't see the Packers giving up a load of points, and their offense hasn't been great. And my worry is Josh Jacobs is just going to just completely rip and shred the Giants apart. But I think under 42.5.
I was going to say, you're not worried about the Giants' injuries of Evan Neal's out, did not practice Thursday, Bobby Okore, Darius Slayton, Thibodeau, all didn't practice. Chancey Golson didn't practice on Thursday. So they do have a lot of injuries.
Yeah, I mean, worries me for Giants winning, but like the under, I think I'm probably good with.
Yeah, I believe you're going against Jameis. That's shocking. Might be the biggest shock of the season.
What do you mean I'm going
Whether he gets
James?
fancy game day.
Hang on a second. Wait, I'm not going against James. I'll pick the Giants.
Yeah, but Jameis is about points. That's all you've been talking about this year. So someone should trade for Jameis because he'll be able to get points.
I feel like he's
the 3 Ps: points, passes, press conferences.
Picks.
Look,
even that was very big. Picks, not passes. Yeah,
picks. Yeah. Well, the Lord's delivered him from pick sixes. We're past that. But yeah, look, he's going to be on there. His play calls. He's going to be singing songs from Hamilton in the huddle. He's going to be having a great time. But I just think it's going to be a low-scoring game, under 42.5. I think the Giants are going to win the game though. So I'm not abandoning Jameis. Glad we clarified that. Baron?
Cool. Yeah, thank you. Finally. That was going to be my under. That's why I was shaking my head at you, not because of Jameis. I was frustrated you took my under. I'm going to go under Chargers, Jaguars, 43.5. Jags at home this year, 4-1 on the under. I don't think it's going to get much better this week. No. I'm not sure if Brian Thomas will be back fit. Not sure it matters that much, let's be honest. They've looked terrible. I just think this is going to be a bit of a poor Jags outing, I guess I'll say. I think the Chargers can put up points. I just think the Jags have kind of hit the skids on their offense this season. So Travis Hunter out the rest of the year. And yeah, I just think they've kind of, especially at home, not been ticking on offense. So I think, this can go under 43.5. And that means I need to pick an over.
Over and a dog is what you need.
Yeah, my dog's going to be the last one because you aren't taking that one. So I know I can rest on that one. Don't love the overs this week. Let's just go for it. The funnest game of the week. Seahawks Rams over 48.5. Not sure how much I believe in it, but let's invest in it being a good game. Put it out there and it will happen. And we haven't talked about it.
Let's talk about it a little bit because it's one of best, if not the best games of the week. Great matchup. 2, again, top NFC contenders. Huge potentially for the NFC West division. How do you see this one going? I wonder how they're going to react. Kind of, obviously, all the focus has been probably in the build-up so far is around the sets that they have. So the Rams found something against the Jags a few weeks ago with the 3 tight ends that sort of phased Liam Cohen and the Jags, and they've never didn't run that formation, and now they run it all the time. And I've seen a lot of success off it. And then similarly, the Seattle go big, making you think they're going to run the ball and play a lot of play action off it. Yeah, it's a big chess match. This one, I think.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think, speaking of playing big, I mean, the Rams, there's nobody playing 13 personnel more in the league. I think right now we're 3 tight ends, 1 running back, 1 wide receiver on the field. Terrence Ferguson getting involved, Colby Parkinson getting involved, Tyler Higbee getting involved. I think we'll see. I think we'll continue to see it because, Sean McVay, when he finds something he likes, he sticks with it. He runs it to the ground. So I kind of wonder if we'll see more Blake Corum than expected this week. He's been bursting off some bigger runs than Kyron. Kyron obviously always useful by the goal line. But I think, we've got the best two wide receivers in football matching up this week, JSN and Puka. I just really hope we get points. Both defenses are pretty good as well, which is the one thing that can hold you back. But the way Stafford's playing, the way Darnold's playing, I wouldn't want to be on the under.
Yeah, should be a great game. Wait till the Rams could be sat here undefeated at this point, really, couldn't they, if we think about it?
Oh, yeah.
Karen Williams fumbled on the goal line when he got knocked out before the ball got punched out. And then Eagles...
And George yet to apologise for it.
Yeah, he never apologised for a win. Eagles blocked field goal, return for a touchdown. Ultimately, obviously, had the kick to win the game. And So, Anyway, cool. I've got a dog and a under, right? No, dog and an
favourite and an under. Oh, you've got. Sorry, I thought you were saying got to take. Yeah.
No, I was just talking out my ass. Yeah, I need a favourite. I love the Ravens. Give me. I don't like this one as much as I did earlier. Oh, fuck it. Give me Davis Mills. Texans 6.5-point favourites at the Tennessee Titans. They've won and covered the last 4 at the Titans. The defense is just going to smother the Titans, isn't it, ultimately? And I don't think they're going to necessarily need to do a lot offensively. And I think they're going to win pretty comfortably. Give me the Houston Texans. I don't love it, but they're alive again. And they were so close to being dead last week, and they're alive again. CJ Stroud out. So let's talk about Davis Mills. So, I think again this is one you can get back to 500 here, and then could they, again that who is going to be the 7th team in the AFC? And it could very well be the Houston Texans. So if they could just get their shit together and play a little bit better on offense, it could be them. 6.5-point favorites. Joe.
Yeah, I'm just going to piggyback off the last 2 games you've talked about. So I've got the Seahawks +3 as my underdog, and I'm going the under in Texans-Titans because I think the Titans are going to score 0 points, and the Texans and Davis Mills will not score. Don't need to score too many. So
the quarterbacks in this game are Cam Ward and Davis Mills. Joe, you don't need to explain.
There you go.
I remember it was one of our. I ended up clipping it. So last time somebody proclaimed a shutout, I think it happened. I want to say it was Cardinals against Browns, maybe a couple. It
was, yeah. It was that. It was a Cardinals rookie quarterback. I think you called it, Paul.
Clayton something, or was it something?
Clayton Tune.
Clayton Tune, yeah.
Yeah, and the Browns certainly got a tune out of him.
Very good. So I need an over. I don't want to take the ones I've already. I want to take the ones for the games I've bet. I'm going to regret this as well. I hate my 4-4 this week. Give me Ravens Browns over 39. Ravens could do it on their own. Is the point. I know the Browns defense is better at home, and it has been. And it usually is. But
do you also know that Lamar Jackson was limited, I think, today, practice with a knee injury?
He's going to play.
Is he going to run that much? That's the question.
He didn't run last
Just
week.
While we're talking, no. While we're talking Lamar Jackson, though, 100th start was last week, and we didn't cover it on the review. Most points of any team through a quarterback's first 100 starts, the Baltimore Ravens.
Give me the over.
And how about this one for a secondary one? For a man who should have transitioned to running back, according to some smart artists when he was coming out of the league. Bill Paulian, I believe it was. Lamar Jackson through 100 starts in the NFL, fewest interceptions. What a fucking guy. I fucking love Lamar Jackson.
Over.
And on the flip side, I don't know how true. I'm sure I heard this is that this might be the Browns' 6th different quarterback against the Ravens in the last 3 years. They keep playing different.
That's incredible. I thought you were going to say 6 years, but you obviously played twice a year. Yeah. That's incredible if true. It wouldn't be that surprising, I guess, but it's still incredible.
Very good. That's the stinkiest 4-4 that I've put together in our 3 years of doing this.
That might mean I'll tail it, to be fair, because with your record so far where you've liked them.
Yeah.
And I only have one underdog that I like this week. I think I've picked more than one, but I'm going to take the Bucs +5.5 in Buffalo.
Excellent.
I don't know if we've talked about this game, but I just kind of think this is a bit of a statement for Buffalo. They beat the Chiefs. Great defensive performance. McDermott really at his best. what the hell was last week, and now I think it's kind of like where are they? Who are the Bills? So yeah, I'm just really interested by it. But yeah, give me the 5.5 for the Bucs, and I'm really glad I had an underdog that I like. I was looking through the list like, oh no, please don't make me take the Bengals at the Steelers. I don't really want to, but I much prefer this one. So
cool, excellent. Well, there are our 4 folds. Hopefully, we find another winner this week. All 12 to 1 shots. So yeah, tell what you like. Don't tell mine. I might go 0-4 this week. Actually, looking at that, it's fucking dog shit. Cool. Let's go.
You might be doing 24 hours in Taco Bell and Weatherspoons, mate. The way you're going,
if it's that bad, yeah. If I lose by so many, like
it's gonna be a hell of a weekend.
If I'm double digits down, like maybe I should have to do 2 forfeits. Cool.
The question is, which way around, Paul? Would you do the tacos first and then the beer the second day, or vice versa?
Taco Bell has to be the recovery for the hangover, doesn't it? Yeah.
Cool. That's going to be one messy bathroom. I'd get a hotel for tonight.
It's grim. Cool. ATS Picks, let's touch on the games that we, I suppose, haven't really talked about. We've not talked about Panthers Falcons. Panthers 3.5 point underdogs. I think the Falcons can cover. I think the Panthers can cover. I think the Panthers can win. Bounce back after last week. The Falcons might just be gone completely. Did you know, sort of two of the last 3 Falcons head coaches, their last games in charge were Panthers at home, got beat, got fired. That could happen to Raheem Morris this week.
Definitely could. Yeah, I was definitely not aware of that fact. And I like you say the Panthers can win. The Panthers just beat them 30-0. Of course they can win.
Yeah. Mike Smith and Dan Quinn.
Defensive coordinator Dan Quinn, who might be looking for a job as a DC next year as well.
I just thought it was interesting. And I just think they've just let 2 games slip through the hands. It's going to go I just think they're going to plummet, and the Rams are going to be loving it, of course, having that first round pick next year. Yeah.
My biggest lean here was Penix and the offense are different at home. That's my entire lean here. I don't have much faith in the Falcons, but Michael Penix is I know we talk about Jared Goff being so much better indoors, but Michael Penix is a different quarterback at home than he is on the road, even in indoors. So I wouldn't say this is my biggest faith pick of the week, but I just fancy the Falcons.
Yeah, and I think Bryce Young is currently on the downward trajectory when you look. And the Falcons, the 2 rookie pass rushers have certainly played better the last few weeks, so I think they can get Bryce Young and certainly put him under pressure. And 3.5 points is not crazy, so I've gone the Falcons.
This could be another big Rico Dowdle game. See what Jonathan Taylor did to them last week. I know Jonathan Taylor's playing on a different level than me, but Dowdle was playing great as well. So
I'm not sure many. I was going to say, not many people playing better at different level than Rico right now.
Yeah, we're all on. Yeah, so just me on the Panthers, just me on the Buffalo Bills as well. I'm not betting that, Bucs fans. Just when you're watching this, the Bucs UK guys, I'm not betting it. I just kind of feel the Bills need it. All on the Texans, just you on the Vikings, Joe, for Vikings Bears. Just you on the Packers, Byron. 7 points to cover feels like a lot for the Packers.
Yeah, I don't love it. My biggest thing is I just kind of worry about Jameis back there with. I think that all lines look good with Dart's mobility. I wonder how good they're going to look without any mobility, because Jameis has never been the most mobile guy in the world. Darius Slayton missing out as well. Again, this probably isn't what I'm going to bet as a line as it is, but I just think the Packers need to get a right game.
Yeah,
and I think they can cover.
Excellent. We're all on the Bengals. Obviously, we're just off the Steelers at the minute, aren't we? 5.5 point favourites at home. That feels like a spot where you bet against the Steelers every day of the week. One of the last Flacco games, I think it probably is going to be the last Flacco game. Obviously, put up 400 odd yards on him, didn't he? Or whatever he put up on him a few weeks ago. Jamar Chase had 16 catches, whatever crazy it was. So, yeah, cool. We're all on the Chargers, Jags. So just touched on that game a few moments ago. Just Joe on the Seahawks, all on the Niners, all on the Ravens, and just me on the Broncos, but I do think we'll get beat. All on the Lions, all on the Cowboys. We're all on so many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're all on together. Great. How many do we think we're going to win?
5-2 this week.
5 seriously excellent. Cool. Let's see how we get on ATS wise. I'm leading. Well, I've got a 9-game lead now. That's growing that lead. Yeah, I had a bad week last week. And
you can cash it in for some Wetherspoons vouchers, mate.
Very good. 9-game lead. I had a bad week last week. I went 500, and you still both lost ground on me, I think. So, yeah. Not great. Anyway, that is it for our NFL Week 11 preview in the books. Thanks again to the Bucs UK guys for joining us. Pleasure as always. I look forward to seeing you guys on Sunday. In the meantime, give us a follow. Good teams win, great teams cover. Available on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Podbean, Overcast, YouTube. The podcast video version is available on YouTube. You can also catch all our posts on with all our bets on Instagram, X, TikTok, and Blue Sky. Make sure you're following along, and we'll see you for our review show. No, won't see you for our fantasy game day preview tomorrow. You can catch it tomorrow. You can also catch it Sunday on our X channel. So watch it on one of those, and then we'll see you for the review.